Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty specific in the online poker world, the PokerBros platform.
Yeah, it's got this whole unique setup. We've looked at a bunch of sources, especially this really detailed 90-day plan. The whole idea is to map out how you can go from just, playing casually to having a real solid strategy on this app.
Exactly. And our mission today isn't just about general poker tips. It's about understanding this specific way of playing online. How does PokerBros actually work? Is it safe? And then, yeah, breaking down that 3-month plan so you get the roadmap.
Right. And what's really interesting, I think, is that it's not like your typical big poker site. It's all built around these private clubs, agents.
Right.
It's different. So before we even get into how to play your hands, we need to get a handle on these structural rules, how your money works, how the games are managed. It's fundamental.
Absolutely. Let's dive into that first. Segment 1. Understanding the PokerBros world and, crucially, the safety aspects. The big thing to grasp, like you said, is how the game actually operates. Think of it like a digital home game.
Sure.
PokerBros, the company, they just make the software, the app that shuffles, deals, keeps track of hands. But, and this is key, they never actually handle player money.
Exactly right. It's all decentralized. You join these private clubs, and each club is run by an independent agent. That agent controls who gets in, manages the virtual chips, handles the money in and out. That's why people call it a digital home game. It really mirrors trusting the host of your local game.
And these clubs offer all sorts of games, right? Hold'em, Omaha, tournaments. The sources often describe the games as, well, pretty loose, maybe more fun, more casual players compared to the big sites.
Which can be good for skilled players, but it leads straight to the big question. If the money isn't centralized, how do you know the game is fair? Is PokerBros rigged? That's what everyone asks.
Okay, let's tackle that head on. What did the sources say?
Well, the consensus seems to be that the platform itself, the software doing the shuffling, is provably fair. They use a certified random number generator, an RNG, running on secure servers. It's standard tech designed to make sure the deal is completely random. Third parties check these things.
So the app's dealing is legit.
Yeah, the core mechanics are sound.
Okay, but then where do all the stories about, unfair games or scams come from if the app is okay?
That's where the club and agent model gets tricky. It's a double-edged sword. Most complaints aren't about the RNG. They're usually about either really bad luck, which people mistake for rigging, or, more seriously, problems within specific clubs. Things like poor oversight by the agent. That can open the door to cheating, like collusion between players or people using bots.
Hold on. If the deal is random, what kind of cheating are we talking about?
It's
Collusion?
Yeah, exactly. Think about it. If an agent isn't monitoring their club properly, players could secretly team up, sharing info. Or someone could run automated software, a bot, to play for them, maybe even multiple bots. And there's another risk, maybe even bigger, the agent themselves. Agent insolvency.
Meaning the agent just disappears with the money.
It can happen. If an agent runs their club poorly, goes broke, or is just dishonest, they might take the player's funds, which are essentially your chips, your bankroll in that club. And unlike a big regulated site, you often have very little recourse if that happens.
Wow. Okay, so safety isn't about the app code. It's entirely about who you trust to run your game.
Precisely. The absolute crucial first step for you, the listener, is vetting the club and the agent. It's like due diligence on an investment. Only deal with reputable clubs. Look for ones with long track records, clear communication, transparency, red flags, definitely anonymous promoters, random invites on social media. Be very skeptical.
So your strategy starts before you even play a hand. It starts with choosing where to play.
100%. And that leads right into the very beginning of this 90-day plan. Bankroll discipline.
Yes, the money management side.
You absolutely must start at micro stakes.
Yeah.
Stakes low enough that you can comfortably afford to lose, say, 20 or 30 buy-ins without it causing you real financial pain. This buffer is critical because you will have losing streaks that just variance. A good bankroll means those streaks don't wipe you out.
And setting limits, too, I imagine.
Definitely. Set strict time limits for your sessions and loss limits. Know when you're going to stop playing, win or lose. Plan it out beforehand.
Okay, sound foundation. Let's move into actually playing. Segment 2. The beginner stage, weeks 1 to 4. What's the core strategy here?
The absolute bedrock, according to the plan, is tight aggressive play, often called TA.
Tight aggressive. Break that down.
Simple, really. Tight means you're selective about the hands you play. You fold most hands pre-flop. You're mainly playing strong starting hands. Big pairs like aces, kings, queens, strong aces like ace-king, ace-queen. And aggressive means when you do decide to play one of these strong hands, you come out betting or raising. You don't just passively call. You take control of the pot.
So wait, if the games are supposedly full of loose players calling with weak hands, why do we play tight? Wouldn't we want to get in there and mix it up with them? Play looser too.
That's a really common question, and it seems counterintuitive, but TA is actually the best way to exploit those loose players. Think about it. If they're calling raises with weak hands, and we only raise with strong hands, what happens?
We make them pay the maximum price when we have the best of it.
Exactly. You build bigger pots when you're likely ahead, and by raising, you often push out other players who might have hit a lucky flop. Aggression forces them to make tough decisions, often mistakes. Limping or calling just invites trouble.
Okay, that makes sense. Punish the looseness. What else in this early phase?
Position. Oh, absolutely critical. Position awareness.
Mm.
Basically, where you're sitting relative to the dealer button. You want to play more hands when you're in late position, like on the button or the cutoff, the seat to the right of the button.
Why is that?
Because you get to see what everyone else does before you have to act. That information is pure gold. Did they check? Bet. Raise. Knowing that lets you make much better decisions. Conversely, in early position, the first few seats to act you should play much tighter. Fold more often. Because you have a whole table of players acting after you who can wake up with a big hand.
Got it. Late position information, play more hands. Early position danger, play fewer hands.
You nailed it. And another huge part of early success, maybe the biggest according to the sources, isn't just how you play, but where you play. Table selection.
Choosing the right game.
Exactly. Strategy 101, really. Actively look for tables with weaker players. Players who seem less experienced, maybe playing too many hands, calling too much. The plan is clear. Your fastest path to building a bankroll is playing against people who make more mistakes than you do. Don't sit down at a table full of sharks, strong regulars. Find the fish.
Makes sense. And when you're at that good table and you pick up a strong hand in this TA phase?
Value bet. Don't get tricky. Don't slow play too much. If you have a strong hand, bet it confidently. Raise for value. Make those loose players pay to see the next card.
And folding.
Just as important. If the betting gets really heavy and the way the hand is played out strongly suggests your opponent has a monster hand, learn to fold, even if you have a decent hand yourself, like top pair. Sometimes saving chips is the winning play. And throughout all this, maintain that bankroll management discipline. Stay at the micro stakes until you're consistently winning over a decent number of hands. Don't rush to move up.
Right, proof of concept first. Okay, let's say you've got that foundation. Weeks 5 through 12, segment 3. Time to scale up the strategy. This is where it gets more complex, right?
Yeah, this is where you start adding layers. Moving beyond just basic TA, the first big step is introducing the semi-bluff draw.
Semi-bluffing with draws. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
It means when you have a hand that isn't strong yet, but has good potential to become very strong, like 4 cards to a flush or 4 cards to a straight, you start playing it aggressively, betting or raising.
But why? If you don't have the hand made yet, why not just check and hope you hit your card cheaply?
Good question. Because the semi-bluff has 2 ways to win. First, your aggression might just make your opponent fold right then and there. You win the pot without even needing to hit your draw. That's a great result.
Okay, win it immediately.
Or second, if they do call your bet, you still have those outs, the cards that will complete your flush or straight. You still have a good chance to make the best hand on a later street. Playing draws aggressively like this puts tremendous pressure on opponents, and it starts to balance your range.
Balance your range, meaning?
Meaning, you're not just betting when you have a monster hand. Now you're sometimes betting aggressively with draws too. It makes you much harder to read. Opponents can't just assume, oh, he's betting bid, he must have it. Maybe you do. Maybe you have a strong draw.
Ah, I see. So that unpredictability leads into the next concept, balanced aggression.
Exactly. This is where you start mixing in more advanced plays, like the 3-bet.
Remind us what a 3-bet is.
Sure. So pre-flop,
Yeah.
someone makes an initial raise, that's the first bet. Someone else might just call. Or someone could re-raise, that's the second bet, or sometimes called the 2-bet technically. If someone then re-raises that raise, that's the 3-bet, the third bet in the sequence, essentially.
Okay, so re-raising the razor.
Right. And you start doing this not just with your absolute premium hands like aces and kings, but sometimes with other strong hands, maybe even occasionally as a bluff or a semi-bluff with suited connectors or something. Mixing in these 3-bets along with other bluffs keeps your opponents guessing. If you only ever 3-bet with aces, good players will figure that out very quickly and just fold everything else.
Makes you tough to play against. The plan also mentions using larger bets on scary boards. What's a scary board?
A scary board is one where the community cards offer a lot of potential draws. Maybe 3 cards of the same suit are out there, making a flush possible, or the cards are very connected, like 8, 9, 10, making straights possible.
Okay, lots of ways for hands to improve.
Exactly. So if you have a strong hand, like maybe top pair, but it's vulnerable on that scary board, the advice is often to bet larger,
Why larger?
to protect your equity. You make it mathematically incorrect, bad pot odds for opponents to call, chasing their draws. You charge them a high price to try and outdraw you. You're making it too expensive for them to continue.
This sounds like it requires really paying attention to your opponents. Which brings us to exploitation.
Absolutely. This is moving beyond just playing your own cards well. It's about figuring out your opponent's tendencies, their patterns, their leaks, and adjusting your strategy to take advantage of them.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say you notice one player always checks the flop and the turn whenever they don't have a strong hand. They seem passive unless they've hit big.
Okay, they signal their weakness.
Right. So if they check the flop, check the turn, and you're facing them on the river, bluffing becomes a really powerful, profitable play against that specific player. You're exploiting their tendency to check when weak.
So it's not just about general strategy, but customizing it to who you're playing against.
That's the key to higher level play. And it means you need to adapt constantly. If you find yourself in a really tight game where everyone's folding, maybe you loosen up a bit, try to steal more pots. If you're in a wild, crazy game, you tighten right back up and wait for strong hands to punish their mistakes.
This sounds like it requires work off the table, too.
Oh, massively. The path to really getting good involves constant study. You need to review your own hand histories, go back over sessions, look for mistakes, analyze tough spots, make notes on players you play against regularly, and learn the more theoretical concepts properly, like calculating pot odds, understanding hand ranges.
Ranges, explain that.
A player's range isn't the specific 2 cards they hold, because you almost never know that. It's the spectrum of possible hands they could realistically have in that situation, based on their position, their actions, their tendencies. Thinking in terms of ranges, what hands could he possibly have here, rather than does he have ace-king, is a huge step up. It's what separates good players from great ones.
And the plan is clear. Don't move up in stakes until you're beating your current level consistently.
Absolutely. Master one level, show a profit over a good sample size, then take a shot at the next level. And always, always maintain that healthy bankroll cushion we talked about. Gradual, disciplined progression.
Which leads us nicely into the final part, segment 4, the mindset and routine. This isn't just about cards, is it? What does the 90-day plan say about habits?
It stresses that poker success isn't just about strategy at the table. It's about building a professional routine around the game. A key part is the study and play balance.
So not just grinding games all the time.
No, definitely not. The plan suggests something like maybe play 5 nights a week, but dedicate 1 or even 2 nights purely to study. Reviewing hands, reading strategy, watching training videos, whatever works for you. Continuous improvement requires dedicated learning time.
And probably the biggest mental game challenge, tilt control.
Oh yeah. Tilt is the ultimate bankroll killer. That feeling of frustration after a bad beat or a losing session where you start making bad emotional decisions.
Yeah.
It's poison.
How do you control it?
The #1 advice is recognize it and walk away immediately. If you feel yourself getting angry, frustrated, playing recklessly, stop playing. Take a break, go for a walk, clear your head. Having preset stop-loss limits helps too. Decide beforehand, if I lose X amount of buy-ins or if I play for Y hours, I quit for the day. And stick to it rigidly. No exceptions. Protecting your bankroll when you're tilted is crucial.
So quitting a session can actually be a profitable move if it stops you from tilting off more chips.
Absolutely. It's a vital skill. And related to that, the plan also highlights basic health habits.
Like eating vegetables?
Well, maybe. But more like staying hydrated, getting enough sleep, taking regular breaks during long sessions. Your brain just doesn't make good decisions when it's tired, hungry, or stressed. Physical well-being directly impacts your mental acuity and your bottom line.
It all ties together for the long haul.
Exactly. This whole 90-day thing is framed as a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to have losing days, losing weeks even. Variance is real. Short-term results don't define your skill. What matters is sticking to the plan, focusing on making good decisions, constantly learning, and improving steadily over time. The goal is that transformation from casual player to a confident, strategy-driven, winning grinder.
Okay, let's wrap this up. A quick recap of the key takeaways from this deep dive on the PokerBros 90-day plan. First, understand the unique PokerBros ecosystem. It's club and agent based, so vetting who you play with is paramount for safety, your first strategic decision.
Hmm.
Second, build your foundation with tight, aggressive play. Strong hands, raise them, use position, punish loose opponents.
Yep, the core.
Third, layer in complexity. Add semi-bluffing withdrawals, balanced aggression with 3 bets, and learn to exploit specific opponent weaknesses. This needs off-table study ranges, pot odds, hand reviews.
Absolutely crucial for scaling up.
And finally, manage your mindset and routine. Tilt control, study habits, health, they're all part of being a winning player.
We've covered a lot on the technical side, the strategy, the bankroll, but it all operates within that unique PokerBros framework, that reliance on independent agents and clubs, not a big central company.
Right, that decentralized model, handling the money, and to some extent, game integrity.
Which brings up a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to really chew on as you consider this path. Given that your funds and the game's fairness rely so heavily on the diligence and honesty of individual club managers, not a large, regulated entity, how does that fundamentally change the long-term risk calculation for you? Especially if you're aiming to build a serious bankroll or even play professionally within this specific ecosystem. What extra safeguards do you personally need to put in place? Something to think about.
A really important question. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.